So, 1988, I was 26 years old. I was driving around Riverside, California, looking for a bank to rob. I'd already robbed like 6 or 7 banks, and I kind of had it figured out by this time. I stopped the note thing. The first time I passed somebody a note, they grabbed the note and they looked at it to read it, which I thought, okay, this is what I want them to do. They need to read the note, which says, give me all the money. We have a bomb, I have a gun, and I underline, give me the money now 3 times. I wanted them to look at the note, except when they looked at the note, the woman did not look up for 15, 20 seconds, because she didn't want to look up. Now I just took her to another territory. So I started moving it around, then she starts pulling it to her, and I'm pulling back. There's this tug of war, and this bank rob, I'm supposed to be all this gravitas and texture up there, and now we're doing this little tug of war that didn't work. So I finally had to say, hey, I'm not kidding, give me the money, pretend, get all menacing and shit. So I had to talk. So the note just was worthless. It was 30 seconds of waste of time. And bank robbery is about time. You got to get in and out, get the loot. So I'm down driving around Riverside, and I drive the street, and I see a bank on the corner. It is the perfect bank. It's close to a freeway. I always want to be near a freeway, so I can just get in my car and take off. 3 minutes on the freeway, and you're at a junction in Southern California. That means you can just be going this way, that way. I'm giving you guys some tips on bank robbery, but because you look at the kind of crowd that's not going to do it, and we're being mature here. I know you're not going to do it, so I'm not being irresponsible. So I go to this bank, and across the street there's this park. It's a weird thing. It's one of those ones where I could turn left into the street here, but it ends about 50 feet up in a park. And so the park's on both sides, and you could tell that this had probably been a street once, but they decided to close the street off and turn it into connect the parks. So I decide not to park here, but I'm going to go around the block, and I'm going to park on the other side facing the bank, so that I can run through the park, cross the street, go into the bank, rob it, cross the street, go to the park, and go out. So I park my car, and I get out, and I look around, and it was really weird. It was one of those, if this was a movie, it would be slow motion now, and you would just, the camera would be looking at the people around me, and you would be noting that they were very old. And I'm not insulting age, because I'm getting older myself, but it was clear that they were in decrepitude. They were old shuffling, nurses are near them shuffling, wheelchair. There's one guy getting wheelchair to a bocce court. There's a guy playing a bunch of guys with dominoes. It was old people all over the place. It felt like I just wrote a zombie novel, so this makes sense. It felt like I was in a George Romero zombie movie. Everyone just shuffling real slow. And I realized what this is they're all coming out to the park because it's assisted living center right here. And this is their recreation. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. I get it. Okay, now that's what it is. It's old people. Let me just go through here and ignore them. So I go through it. I cross the street. I get in the bank. When I get in the bank, 3 tellers, and I'm in line. And the woman on my left is a middle-aged white woman. She has a blunt haircut, kind of traditional-looking woman. She has a sweater with geese in flight on it, which just makes sense. The middle woman looks like my Aunt Maggie, minus about 30 years. Very Mexican, a lot of makeup, nails really done. And the woman on the right is a black woman, and I don't know, early to mid 30s. So I stand in line. The black woman, her teller comes open. So I start walking over there, and when I'm walking over, she's really friendly. They're always friendly, hey, how you doing, sir? And I put my fanny pack on the counter, and I said, this is a bank robbery. We have a bomb, I have a gun. Give me the money now, or I'll blow your head off. At this point, she just freezes. Now, everybody always, I'm there to terrorize people to get money. That's what this is about. So it's always, okay, let's get them out. And there's protocols for this, actually. They know, no, I mean, not like protocols with me and her, but the FBI has protocol. Give them the money. Again, this is teaching you how to rob a bank, but I'm not teaching you how to rob a bank. But the FBI has rules. They say, get this guy out of the bank. Give them what they want, get them out. They're going to get addicted to it, and they will come back, and we have a high, we catch these guys 97.9% of the time. So they want us to get out, give us the money. But this woman doesn't do that. She just panics and freezes, and and I'm thinking, oh, I haven't confronted this, and I realize that she's just paralyzed with fear. My ferocity is such that I've paralyze this woman with fear. So, but that's no good for a bank robber. I got to get the loot and get out. So it's like, it's a dance. You want to like menace, but you don't want to paralyze, you know. It's like, so I have clearly failed. But I think, boom, I'm going to improvise, watch me make my moves. I say, open the drawer. And now I realize I put her in automaton robot mode, and I'm like the little software developer. I'm going to make her do what I want her to do, and she's just going to do it. She opens the drawer, and I'm like, okay, this works. Give me the big bills first. And she gives me the big bills. Now, the thing about her trembling is I think she's going to faint because her eyes are so terrified. So I have to keep my eyes locked on her while I'm talking to her, and she's shoving the money to me, and I'm just like, all right, give me the 50s. I mean, first give me the 100s, the 50s, the 20s, the 10s. You know, I like go down the list, and then give me the money in the bottom drawer. And she's like terrified, and I'm doing my Bengali thing. I'm really trying to mesmerize, like making her do her, give me. And she's giving me a lot of money, like heavy money. And I'm like, oh man, I'm working this. So finally it stops. I said, all right, turn around, close the drawer, turn around, walk away, don't look back. As soon as she walks away, I'm like, triumph. And I start walking out of the bank, and it's been the toughest like moments of bank robbery I've had. And I've rocked managers in the banks by this point. But this right here was just, I didn't know, that was just tough. So I'm really feeling triumphant when I walk out the bank. Halfway across the block, across the street, the bag goes boom, and it flies out of my hand. It's a fanny pack. Now I'm like, wait, we didn't have there's no and there's no bomb, so what the hell is this? Why is it exploding out of my hand? I threatened a bomb, we don't have one. I look down on the ground, and in my fanny pack there's a hole this big, and a red plume of smoke just billowing out, ooh, like intense. And I'm like, I gotta pick it up, evidence. So I go to pick it up, and I got cat-like reflexes, and I realize, ooh, tear gas. But not before the tear gas has hit me. I mean, tear gas is invisible, so you don't know what it is, but I get in it so much that it does not blind me, but I'm just like a millisecond longer and I would have been blinded. So what's happening is my eyes are doing this now. In order to see anything, I got to keep closing and kind of get a vague impression of what's going on. So like, okay, I see the bag, okay, smoke, okay, no cars are coming, I'm cool. I pick up the bag and I'm holding it away from me, and I start walking, and I get in the park, and like I'm telling you, I'm blinking. My eyes are like a camera shutter on speed, you know. I'm like, okay, my car's over here, okay, what's going on? And I look back and it's like a carnivore. So I got a big red smoke following me, and I'm running. And all the old people in the park are like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I run to my car. I got no time for them. I'm just trying to get on. The cops are on their way. Blinking. I'm like, okay, my car, vaguely, I see it over there. I finally get to my car. I open the trunk. I open a sports bag, and I just throw the money, and I zip it shut. I close it. I get in the front seat of the car. Now, like I said, instead of turning left in the street to the park, I actually went around, and I'm now parked here with the assisted living place here and the bank on the other side of the park on the other side of the street. And so now I'm changing all my clothes, and I'm blinking, and I'm putting them all in a bag because I would always get rid of them, whatever I was wearing, a couple blocks away. So I'm like changing out, and I change out of my shirts and my sweatshirt and pants, and I got like some topsiders. I was trying to do the collegiate look, topsiders, and Shore UCLA sweatshirts, and Ray-Bans. I know you don't see collegiate right here, but at 26 I could pull it off. So I'm like, now I'm a different guy in there, except the blinking thing. The cops pull up to the bank. I can see them. They drive up, askew in the middle of the road. They all jump out, just like in TV, and they hit the wall, and they're all ready to go in. And I'm sitting here. This is one of those moments where, as a criminal, you run right by it, but later on when I'm in prison, the idiot who's been caught, thinking I'm kind of a dumbass, you know. I thought I was all George Clooney, but I was kind of not. So, at this moment, I'll never forget it. It's like one of the more embarrassing moments of my life. That's why I'm happy to admit it to you. I'm sitting there blinking, barely got away from the crime scene. They almost got me with a tear gas. I see those cops pull up, and I'm like, what a bunch of dumb fucks. They think I'm in there, haha. And so and I'm the one here barely can see. So I change my clothes. I turn around, blinking. I pull on, turn left, turn on a big road, and a police officer. I see him on a motorcycle, coming. So I'm blinking under my Ray-Bans. I'm at a red light, and he's across the street, and he passes me real slow, and I'm blinking. And I just keep going. He goes, and he turns left I see him in my mirror. So I turn left, and I think he's coming around because, who stands on the, like this? Somebody either tweaking or somebody who just had tear gas in their eyes. So I turn left, and I'm big, I got a little RX-7, like booking it. I get on the freeway, I take off, cops never see me, they never come for me. And I go to the next city, I get up at 7-Eleven, and I pouring Perrier water all in my eyes, trying to clear them out, and I'm able to see a little bit better. And I drive home, all defeated and everything. I get home, and I look at the money, and I'm trying to scrub all the ink off the money, and it's just dead. I mean, that stuff really works. It stains it permanently. And then my bag, it's got this big, it's one of those fanny packs that had material that's really strong. So strong, in fact, that I remember when I was in prison the first time that, I know, I'm an idiot, I'm not Clooney. So the first time I was in prison, I was reading a newspaper about a guy who had picked up a dye pack. Now that woman, it turns out, was super smart. She was not panicked. She was gonna hand me a brick of money that any 10-year-old would have looked at and said, that's fake money, I'm not gonna take it. She was faking me because she was handing me this thing. It's all glued on the side, it's cut out on the inside, and they put all the stuff in there so it'll explode. And I thought, man, that woman was smart. She was clever. I thought I ran game on her. But here's the thing. I knew about the dye packs because when I was in prison, I'd read that a guy had once picked up a dye pack and he shoved it in the front of his pants. And when it blew off his left nut. Here's the thing. I know, right? The funniest thing is the guy actually tried to sue Bank of America. That's the end of my story. Thank you very much. That's fun.